Coming up tonight, a total economic shutdown is on the cards for Malaysia should COVID numbers continue to be high.
Announced today, several insurers here will cover COVID-19 vaccination-related hospitalization.
And condolences pour in for the mother who was killed in an accident on her way home to surprise her son with sushi, including from PM Lee. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Chao Suan.
I'm Dylan Ang. Thanks for joining us this Monday evening, and don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram. It looks like Malaysia might be shutting down most of its economy if COVID-19 numbers continue to spike after existing movement controls have so far failed to contain the spread of infections. Speaking to the Straits Times, several industry and government sources have confirmed that the Health Ministry wants to impose a total lockdown on all economic activity except for essential services once the current movement control order expires on February 4th. On the ground in Malaysia, ST's Malaysia Bureau Chief Shannon Teo tells Newsnight more.
A lot of people are still making money right now if you're in manufacturing. Whether you're the owner of the business or you're a worker, you still have your job, right? I mean, if you're in the tourism sector, you've already been affected since last year. But there are a lot of people who are still able to earn a living right now. I think they are in fear of what might happen. But the situation we have right now is I think the government is telling them, well, the onus is on you. You have to make sure that you abide by the SOPs. You have to make sure that there aren't so many clusters because workplace classes are the top number of classes. It used to be foreign workers and things like that, illegal immigrants, so on and so forth. But right now, the manufacturing sector, for example, is responsible for nearly a third of the clusters just on their own. So people are saying you have to shut them down. So if the manufacturing sector doesn't want to be shut down, then it has to put in new regulations for itself.
Meanwhile, back home, for the third day in a row, there were no new community infections reported. All 44 new cases in Singapore were imported and had been placed on stay-home notices on arrival here. Now, if you're still unsure about vaccinations or fear getting hospitalized from one, perhaps this will allay your fears. Announced today, all 7 integrated shield plan insurers are extending coverage to COVID-19 vaccination complications that result in hospitalization. This special coverage will apply to all IP policyholders who receive vaccines approved by the Health Sciences Authority and are vaccinated in Singapore. Additionally, MediShield Life, which covers all Singaporeans, is claimable for vaccination-related complications.
In more COVID-19 news, travelling around Singapore will be safer for all as the Land Transport Authority begin COVID-19 vaccinations for some 80,000 land transport workers. This includes bus and train operators, as well as active taxi and private hire car drivers. The first batch of 12,000 individuals will receive their vaccines at 2 vaccination centres, the former Hongkar Secondary School campus and Changi Airport Terminal 4. One bus captain who received the jab told ST why she thinks it is important to do so.
I think it is my social responsibility to the nation as well, because seeing that our government actually do their part so much of protective measures, and the healthcare frontline actually doing their part to actually reduce the risk. I think it is my part to do to show that, to express my deepest and heartfelt, gratitude towards the nation.
Now, speaking of buses, you might soon find yourself on a driverless one, as pilots to open these vehicles up to paying customers begin. Commuters can now take driverless buses in 2 areas of Singapore for a small fee. In the first trial of its kind since Singapore began experimenting with autonomous vehicles on the roads in 2015. The new bus services can be found in Singapore Science Park 2 and on Jurong Island. The service in Singapore Science Park 2 costs commuters 40 cents for a round trip, while the journey in Jurong Islands costs commuters $2. Fares are pegged to existing modes of transport or shuttles in the 2 remote areas.
The tragic accidental death of a 13-year-old girl last year who collided with a railing after being unable to stop the bicycle she was on has thrown this issue into the spotlight. Soon, all bicycles used on public paths and roads must have at least one functioning brake. The new rule will affect fixed-gear bicycles or fixies, as well as BMX bikes used for racing and stunt riding. The girl was using her friend's fixie, which was not equipped with brakes, down a ramp in a Pasir Ris car park. Taking to Facebook, Senior Minister of State for Transport Amy Khor called the new regulation timely and necessary and went on to say that she is heartened to know that many in the active mobility community, pedestrians and retailers welcome the move.
The family of a freelance balloon sculptor who died after being hit by a lorry 2 weeks ago has received an outpouring of condolences after the news of her accident broke. She was on her way home to surprise her son with sushi. Among those who paid tribute to 52-year-old Miss Aw Cheng Kim was Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. Her sister, Miss Samantha Aw, told the new paper that their father was surprised when he opened the letter addressed to him last Tuesday, where PM Lee recalled how he had met the late Miss Aw twice when she helped build balloon walls for private events in 2018 and 2019.
Up to 400,000 households will receive an early hongbao. $50 vouchers will be given to lower-income households to defray household expenses and at the same time support local businesses. It's all part of the Community Development Council vouchers scheme. The $20 million second tranche will come in $2 notes and can be used to redeem food, essential goods and services at more than 8,000 participating heartland merchant shops and hawker stalls. Looking to get your hands on it, head down to designated community clubs and centres from February 8, with the vouchers valid till September 30th this year.
And one cookie monster is rocking the internet. A discovery by an American geologist is getting netizens very excited after a cross-section of the rock discovered in Brazil bore an uncanny resemblance to the Sesame Street character Cookie Monster. The video of the rock uploaded on Facebook has already been shared over 12,000 times, and pictures have also made their way onto Twitter. In an interview with The Sun, the geologist said that he has already been offered over US $10,000 for the gem.
And if you haven't come across the Bernie Sanders meme, seriously, where have you been? Meet his mitten maker, 42-year-old Jennifer Ellis from Vermont, who is enjoying a taste of fame as the woman behind the viral mittens. A fan of Mr. Sanders, she had first sent him a pair after his loss to Hillary Clinton at the 2016 Democratic presidential primary as a consolation gift. Since then, she had sent him another 10 pairs.
Jennifer says her phone has not stopped buzzing since the inauguration, with about 13,000 emails from people who want to buy her mittens. She says, though, that she has no plans to satisfy the demand and prefers to spend time with her family instead. Oh, how adorable! And if you're wondering if Mr. Sanders has seen the memes, yes, he has.
I appreciate that you're not a politician who uses memes, but you became one. I mean, does your staff show them to you? Here you are with the Sex and the City girls.
Yeah, I've seen them.
And in sports, this won't come as a big surprise. Frank Lampard has been sacked by Chelsea. He leaves the club in mid-table of the English Premier League. Lampard was appointed manager in July 2019 and spent more than £200 million last summer on players. In line to replace Lampard is former Paris Saint-Germain boss Thomas Tuchel.
Now, in case you missed it, here's your dad joke for the day. Why did the otters cross the road? Well, no idea, but it sure was adorable to watch. Perhaps not so cute, though, if you were trying to drive along that road. A group of otters trying to cross a 4-lane road in Orchard forced vehicles traveling along the road at the time to slow down or change lanes to avoid hitting the animals. In a nerve-wracking moment, one taxi looked like it was about to hit the leader of the pack, but stopped just in time. Luckily, all the otters made their way to safety eventually. And that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.